What the I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Damn! I know you lying. I guarantee you won't see this coming. Welcome to You Can't Make This Shit Up with the Guru and Double D.
And what's up, man? Happy tonight, y'all, man. This is another riveting episode of Make This Shit Up with me and Double D in the building, man. I'm so glad you guys are aboard. We have a very interesting and disturbing topic that we're going to talk about tonight, man. So stay tuned. Whether you're watching us on the Black Event News page, whether you're watching us on YouTube, or whether you're listening to us on WLEO right now, thank you. We really appreciate you. If you'll do nothing more for me, make sure you share the broadcast out because this one, hey Keisha, what's going on? Hey Larry, what's going on? We love you too. All right, and so, hey Lisa, kind of what's going on? Now, as you can see, me and Double D are twinning tonight. So
yes. By the way, did Lisa get her shirt? That's the question of the night. Lisa, have you gotten your shirt yet? I mailed her a free shirt, and I'm wondering, did she get it? I hadn't heard from her.
Yeah,
so
I hope she got it.
I hope you got it. I hope you got it.
That is absolutely awesome. All right. So Lashana, she says, hey, Double D, you one clever lady. Looking forward to the show.
Thank you.
Everybody come in for Double D. I guess I'm chopped liver up in this piece tonight, but it's all right, though. I love you too. She said she's still waiting on her snail mail, she said.
Yeah. I figured as such because I knew you would tell me, but it's on the way. Yeah. And I do have another one that I would like to give away tonight. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. But I'm going to give away a petty but accurate shirt to someone here on the show. So I guess we'll pick out a good comment or something, and then whoever's got it tonight. Yeah. Whoever's got a good comment, we'll give them a free petty but accurate shirt. Yes, I do sell them. You can buy them on DaGuru&Doubledeemuva.tiktok.store. If you're following on Facebook, you can check where the website is, and you will be able to click there and you can see it. But it's DaGuru&Doubledeemuva.tiktok.store, and that's where you can purchase the petty but accurate shirt. We also have mugs, and I also have my cup for tonight is the best part of waking up is pettiness in my cup.
I love it. You said it was Double D Mother. What was that store again?
DoubleDeemuva.tiktok.store. So that's where you can buy any of my merch. I have a whole bunch of stuff on there too.
Just in case y'all need to see that.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Ted. Look, I'm out here taking up all of Terry's time selling all my crap.
It's all right. That's where I got it from. But we are twinning. So if you want to be petty but accurate, you want to get you one of those shirts. I can promise. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Karen, Trust God Pickens is in Kansas City. Kansas. Wow. Karen, I first want to say I am 2 hours away from you, Diane, Columbia. So next time I go see the Chiefs, I'll come up and see you. How about that?
Welcome, Karen.
Thank you for the follow. Hey, I finally caught you guys live. How are you doing, Miss Moss? I'm glad you are up.
That is my sister. Can't you tell? Look at her picture. That is my sister, my real sister in real life.
For real?
Yeah, that is my sister. Hold on, let me take these glasses off. You might can tell. Yeah, we're sisters in real life. So thank you, Tanya.
I see the pettiness. I see it.
Look, she's more she's one of these type of ladies that likes to get it done up all the time. So she looks perfect all the time. So, and I'm not that kind of girl. That skipped over me. So anyway,
ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so we're gonna get right into our topic tonight, man. It's very disturbing. If you guys do not know the story of Gloria Williams, is that her name? Right, Gloria?
Yes.
And Brian Coulter. If you do not know who that is, I need for you guys to go ahead and jump off real quick. Go ahead and do a quick Google search, or just stay right here because Miss Tiffany is going to bring up the petty and the truth in this situation. So, Miss Double D, you have the floor, ma'am. I'm gonna go with you.
I'm telling you guys, this story is very disturbing, and I'm going to give you a trigger warning right now because this story has some some disturbing parts. And the reason why I wanted to discuss it, of course, is news that's going on today, but I wanted to discuss it because there is a big human element to this that we do need to talk about. Why have we become so conditioned in today's culture and today's society that we are not helping people anymore? Why we are not, it takes a village. I've always heard that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yep.
And in this story, you're going to hear how the system, the village, it seems that everyone failed these children from the mother all the way down. And it's so sad. So this is the story of Gloria Williams and Brian Coulter. Gloria Williams is the mother to six children. Six children. She has two girls and four boys, and two of these children are non-verbal. Okay,
Wow.
Two of the children are non-verbal autistic children. The family said that he would talk. The boy that died, he would talk a little, but he was still considered non-verbal, especially for a 7-year-old. So anyway, so on October 24th. The Harris County Sheriff's Department received a phone call from a 15-year-old boy stating that he was living in an apartment with his two brothers. Well, three brothers actually, and one of them was deceased. The two that were living were 11 and 7-year-olds. So two brothers, 11 and 7 years old, in the house with him. He said that they had no food. He said that and then he told them that the child, one of the brothers, was actually deceased in the house, and said that the child had been deceased for almost a year, is what he told. So the police go over to the apartment, and they indeed find a 15-year-old boy malnourished. They find the 11-year-old boy. He's actually got bruises and he's all messed up and scarred up. And then they go in and they actually see this child under a blue blanket in one of the rooms. Okay. And this child is, has been decomposed. This child has been decomposing from what they can see at that time for quite some time. So they also look around the house and they see no food. They see no furnishings. They see nothing inside of the house that would indicate that these children are even supposed to be there. It's completely disgusting. So of course they take custody of the children. Yeah. They take them to the hospital, where they find out that the child that was actually swollen, his jaw was broken, had been broken for quite some time, and he's going to have to require surgery. Wow. Because he was so messed up, and they got him no medical attention. So they of course talked to the children that were living. And the story that they tell is horrifying. But before I get to that, I'll let you know that they made contact with the mother of the child, who was living in another location 15 minutes away. She was, her and her boyfriend, Brian Coulter. Put their pictures up on the screen, huh, so they can see what we're talking about.
Yeah. Here we go.
This is Gloria and her boyfriend, Brian. So they make contact with them, and they're living 15 minutes away from the children. They take them and question them on what happened. And Gloria tells this story about the guy, her boyfriend, beat the child up. And Gloria actually tells them that she was afraid that she never called the police. And she said that this happened around Thanksgiving of last year. And she said she never called the police because she was scared that all of her children would get taken away from her. So they release them. Let's play. So they don't get arrested at that time. The children are actually in the hospital. They're taken into custody of the foster system, to child protective custody or whatever, child protective services, and then they let them go. So let's play the clip and let's hear
This is
the first
so
one.
if I got the right one, give me a thumbs up. If it's not the right one, let me know because it mutes us. Okay.
Reflected in the statement of probable cause.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Her boyfriend and officials addressed the concern that the mother, well, she wasn't arrested right away.
And Chris, Harris County detectives spoke about that frustration after the couple was questioned and then released. Investigators said they had to process a lot of evidence before any charges could be filed.
This one's up there, you know, this one affected us.
Today, the Harris County Sheriff's Office shared new gruesome details about three brothers who are 15, 10, and 7 years old. For nearly a year, the children were living in an abandoned apartment with their brother's skeletal remains in West Harris County. Detectives say the child was 8 years old. His death ruled a homicide caused by multiple blunt force injuries.
We saw soiled carpet, no furniture at all. No bedding, no blankets, nothing like that we could see.
Gloria Yvette Williams.
This morning, the mother of the children, Gloria Williams, charged with injury to a...
Oh, okay.
Okay. So after this takes place, after they go ahead and they order an autopsy on the little boy, they found that the little boy died of blunt force trauma. That's what he died from. And actually, the two little boys that were the children that were left actually told the story. And I'm gonna let you guys hear. Well, let me backpedal and pussy pop for a second. So after they find out that the little boy died from blunt force trauma, they go ahead and arrest Gloria and they arrest the boyfriend. So they arrest the boyfriend for murder and then they arrest the mother for injury to a child by omission and tampering with evidence. That's what they arrest her for, not murder. So this story that they tell is that is my computer, and I don't even know how to stop that. So
okay. I got my son in here beside me, so I'm trying to play looking at it. Okay.
So they go ahead and arrest both of them, which was good news because everybody was wondering why the hell they hadn't been arrested. But the sheriff Ed Gonzalez said that they had a big scene that they had the process, and they also wanted to get the cause of death for the child because at that time they just couldn't go by their word that that's what the little boy actually passed away from. So today Gloria goes to court and she's actually having a bond hearing. And I want you guys to hear, and again, I will give you guys a trigger warning of the story that the children actually told.
Reflected in the statement of probable cause, officers were called out to a residence in Harris County on Greencrest Drive on October the 24th of this year regarding the death of the minor complainant, who is the child of this defendant. There were 3 juvenile witnesses who are also complainants in these cases. There was a 15, 10, and 7-year-old child who are witnesses to the incident. Officers arrived, spoke with the 15-year-old child, who stated that he found his younger brother, the deceased minor complainant, in a bedroom of the residence sometime around Thanksgiving of last year, 2020. He believed this defendant would call the police, told officers that she never did so, and that she then had moved out of the apartment, leaving them in the residence with his deceased younger brother without adult supervision. He stated that they had found his younger brother approximately 1 week before Thanksgiving. He also told officers that the co-defendant, who is the boyfriend of this defendant, would lock them in a bedroom and he would hear them hitting his brothers while he was in the room with them. He stated he told this defendant about the conduct, but she ignored him, said she would talk with the co-defendant, and the 15-year-old stated, quote, that never worked. Officers also spoke with the 10-year-old complaining witness, who is the complainant in the first-degree felony serious bodily injury case. who stated that he was actually in the room when the co-defendant assaulted his deceased younger brother, striking him in the face, feet, buttocks, back, his legs, and testicles with closed fists and feet. He stated that the co-defendant then laid his brother on the floor and put a cover over him, that the defendant then came in the room to check on his younger brother, saw the body under the cover. She began crying, then made him leave the room. The 10-year-old stated that the defendant and the co-defendant then began fighting because the co-defendant had killed his younger brother. He stated that the defendant then came back another day, checked on his younger brother, and found that his body, feet, and teeth had turned into a skeleton. He stated that the co-defendant would beat him as well, hitting him on his buttocks, legs, stomach, and face, and punched him in the jaw, causing his face to be swollen. He stated when the co-defendant would drink beer and alcohol, he would get very strong. The 10-year-old also stated that his younger brother was on the floor under the cover, that his body was a skeleton, and that his hair was off. Law enforcement officers on scene observed that 10-year-old child to have extensive swelling to his face and jaw when they made contact with him on October 24th. He was transported to Texas Children's Hospital, where it was discovered that he had blunt force trauma to the face, which would require surgery because medical treatment was not sought or obtained when he was injured. During a forensic interview the following day, he disclosed that the injury had occurred when the co-defendant struck him in the face approximately 3 weeks prior, and that this...
Yeah.
Let's get to some of these comments because we got a few.
Okay.
Let's get to those because
we need to decompress after listening to that. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Rama on YouTube says, "Where's the village for sure?"
Yeah.
Larry said, "We are a selfish society." Erica said, "The system in the society is doing as it has always done. Personal responsibility. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Blacks are violent, etc. I grew up in the foster care system too. Ain't a damn thing changed," she said. Latanya said, "Oh my goodness." Miss Erica Dunlap said, another woman putting a man first. You don't get to that. Rama says on YouTube again, "This reminds me of the couple with 10 or so kids who mistreated their kids a few years ago." Chakira Pearson on YouTube said, "Well, damn, she let him shit unacceptable." I tell you. Lashana said, "You can't make this up. You really can't." Name what the name of the show. And Erica says, afraid of her kids will be taken away while away from the kids.
Exactly. That was going to be my whole point. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm afraid she did not call the cops because she was afraid that her children would be taken away. But she moves 15 minutes away. And listen, you guys, did you hear the part where I said that there was no furniture in the apartment? So they moved all of their furniture out of this apartment and moved it to their apartment and left those kids by themselves with nothing. There was nothing in the house.
What in God's name? I know mental health is a real thing. I know.
I'm not even finna play that card on her
right here. I'm not feeling it either. I'm like, there's no. Oh my God, purposely moved out, and let babies. Oh, you know what? I can't. Let's go. I think Latrice was tagging somebody. All right, Lisa says these people are monsters. I think
absolutely
is an absolute understatement. I tell you.
And put their picture up there again to see what who she did this for. Look at this tackhead. Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he isn't worth doing anything for. And you should see the way he was acting on his Instagram. Y'all, he was always slurring, smoking weed, drinking. It seems like he's always drunk all the time. Yeah. And they were eating good. Show him one of the meals that I sent you, Terry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Where's that? I think it's gonna be this one.
while the children were starving, they were over there eating good, eating big pots of spaghetti and
Yeah.
steak and shrimp and mashed potato. I mean, this is all on his Instagram. He's bragging about how they eat good, opening the refrigerator, and you can see all of the food in the refrigerator. See the pancakes on a stick and everything. And this whole time, he had beat this girl child to death. And then on top of that, you left the remaining children with nothing, and you come over periodically and you bring them food. You know, you bring them noodles and snack cakes and stuff like that. Like one time, a neighbor said, so a neighbor said that that he had bought the kids a pizza one time because the kids, this is according to reports, according to KHOU, they spoke to a neighbor. He said he bought the kids pizza one time, and the little boy was so thankful. He said he had had a pizza in a very, very long time. And the 15-year-old he said that the 15-year-old went to crying about the fact that he was getting a pizza. And y'all over there eating good in the neighborhood, taking care of yourselves while y'all got the kids over here starving and one of them in the house decomposing.
But here is where I'm offended. Okay, let me take this down. This is going to get on my nerves because first of all, that pot is really getting on my nerves. I got the OCD, and that pot is really bothering me right now because it's got that whole white inside crust. I don't know what that is. That's not spaghetti. I can promise you that.
Maybe it was Italian cheese or something.
That's a little extra. That's some pre-COVID. I don't know what that is. But what pissed me off in that particular picture was the fact that he FOE.
Oh, yes.
Family over everything. Man, if you don't sit your crack. Wait, because I got something for that.
I'm going to tell you like this. If you don't shut your ass up, I'm telling you, man.
I don't understand. Family over everything. FOE Productions, man, production of what? You know, and you over there eating that raggedy spaghetti because I don't know who cooked that.
She did.
Maybe they Grubhubbed it. I don't know what they did with that.
No,
that doesn't look edible to me.
Well, look, it would have been better than eating noodles and snack cakes. I can tell you that every day. That's a shame.
You know. Oh my God! Let's go back to the comments. It's like I said, I can't take it. This is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And these babies, poor kids. She said, "I don't understand adults. I'm an adult, and sometimes I don't understand us either." And that doesn't make a lick of sense to me. How good could that pain have been to do that
to your own children,
babies? I don't get that. This must be like living in hell. She said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am just too outdone by the entire situation. Yeah, and the fact that he has a tattoo on him that says FOE, family over everything. And it was a jailhouse tattoo. But he has a tattoo on him that says this. And you would, do this to her child and then have her other children over there suffering. They said that the last time they saw them in person was 3 weeks ago. And he had actually beat the 7-year-olds when he came over there. So she had a 7-year-old son. The 8-year-old son actually passed away. And then she had a 10-year-old son and a 15-year-old son. And she has a 17-year-old daughter as well, another daughter in the middle of that, which I don't know her age. And then she has a 17-year-old daughter as well. And she has lost custody of the two older ones, but we'll get to that. Next. Go ahead, Terry.
Here's a question. I think is there with Mr. Coulter, is there a level of hatred toward Black people? Is there a sense of racism here?
I can say this is what I saw on his Instagram, where he was cursing, saying the N-word. She was allowing him, like she was in the kitchen, and he's one of these ones that try to do this stereotypical Black thing, where you know how they say, I don't like this verbiage, but I'm going to use it here. Acting Black. You know how they say white people can act Black. You know, but to me, acting Black is not a thing. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that you can act Black if you aren't Black. But they do this stereotypical acting where they act what they feel like, black people are like. And that is what he's doing, acting like the hood, dude with he had the chains on, a long diamond chains, the big watches. He kept on talking about how they were real. And he was saying the N-word in front of her, drinking all the time in the camera, drinking and smoking marijuana.
So that, boys and girls, is a definition of being performative, and this is what a lot of these people do. Jumping back, Erica, I guess they were talking about the Turpin family some years ago, because they, boy, them kids, I'll tell you. McCree Chastity on Facebook said, "This is horrific. My heart breaks for the innocent children. I just can't stand weak women who put a man before her kids. I hope they rot under the jail. I don't think they're going to make it a trial. I'm going to tell you. I don't believe it."
I can agree.
Andrea McCready said, "Anybody and nobody suspected anything." And again, we're going to get to that because we're talking about the village and where was the village at, because we have a very interesting video with the family in here that we're going to, whenever you tell me to play that, I'll play that for you. So said, they are going to bust hell wide open. My daddy used to say that. My stepdad used to say that all the time. They're going to bust hell wide open. Erica Dunlap said, "For that, you know what? I don't even think it's about the D. I really don't.
I don't either. I think this is listen, when I was looking at her on Instagram with him, because they had several videos riding in the car. They had several videos, and you can find his Instagram on my Blackurate News page if you're interested in going and taking a look at his Instagram. I do have a photo of him with the Instagram attached. But my feeling with them is that something wasn't quite right with her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something wasn't quite right with her. The way she was speaking, it was a little off. And with him, he's just plain belligerent all the time, because every time he gets on, he's drinking and he's high. Right. You know what I'm saying? So this lady has 6 children. From the indication of the family, all of these children have different fathers. So I'm going to say that she was probably wanting love. She was wanting love. She found this guy who she thought was giving her love. She was very excited on Valentine's Day that he had actually purchased her some gifts. She actually posted that, and she was so happy that he had bought her some gifts. That's probably the first time that she's had that in a long time, that somebody had done something like that for her. Do I think that is right, that she would give up her kids for that? Hell no. It's complete trash. It's complete trash. And the fact that she had lost custody of the 2 older girls and they were going to take custody of the boys really says a whole lot about her parenting and where she is, where she's at mentally. Something wasn't clicking there for at least for me.
Not clicking. So I want to give a shout out right here. I want to take a little mini break here. You are in the episode You Can't Make This Shit Up with me and Double D. I'm glad everybody is here. I think I haven't seen this many numbers in one live in a long time. So I don't know how to act really. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. Everybody just comment and please share the broadcast out. My podcast and mentor, Lynn, says the D is addictive. My wife said that to me all the time. Anyway, so Andrea, how will these children ever heal? Will they? Will they ever heal? And
we'll get to that.
How do you get past that? McCree said Mound tried to intervene or check in on the kids. I read the neighbors giving them noodles. The neighbors giving them noodles. They never thought to go to the apartment to check on the kids.
We're gonna get to that right after that. Yeah.
Not that we can't keep blaming the pain, man. We can't keep blaming the
y'all making it hard for me to keep this a serious episode because I keep wanting to laugh and Terry keeps making me laugh, and this isn't funny.
It is not funny.
No,
it's not funny. I'm going to end the episode on a funny note, but this is right now. Mimi Moore said, "Is it Mimi? I hope it's Mimi. Wow, people are just the worst. You can leave your kids behind. I hope they are given the death penalty. This is crazy." I was reading the comment down the road here a little bit, and somebody said they should charge the mother with murder too. And I totally agree with that. I think the mother she should fry like bacon like him too. That's what I feel.
They're in Texas too, honey.
Oh my God, not
They're
Texas.
in Texas. They're in Texas.
And you know, Applehead down there, he gonna fry him. He don't even care.
Absolutely.
Say that. Susan Hunter said, "This is so heartbreaking. 4 babies, 1 dead, and 3 traumatized for life." Man, I can't even imagine. Vanessa said, "Who's paying the rent in that place?"
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. That's a good question. I'm like, how they go this long? And the apartment complex, they try to put somebody out. Latrice said, I wonder what was he thinking and saying while doing these things to these babies? How can she not protect her children? Because I think to answer that shortly was that she was living on some level of fear. He was doing that because he has a hatred for Black people and children. As somebody said that earlier in the comments. So that one's pretty simple. But it can get deep. And Chris said, Vanessa Chu, that's a great one. She was tagging her. Lynn says, dumbass women sacrificing their children is mind-boggling to me. You know, it's that pain, man.
It is.
Karen, we're gonna get back to the story here. Karen said, I think that this society has allowed our children to fall through the crack. Back in the day, growing up, the neighbors watched everything. When I say they watched everything, they watched everything. Everything the kids are business, they call them know the neighbors, but back in the day, that was the village. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We're gonna take a break, or you wanna? Did you break already?
Yeah. Well, I kind of did a recap, but go ahead. What's up?
You want me to keep going, or you gotta take a break? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So let's get to why the neighbors never said anything and get to the school and all of that. So the neighbors said that they noticed that the children were alone. Actually, they saw where the neighbor actually saw one of the 15-year-old actually sleeping outside on the slide. They actually said the neighbor that lives closest to them actually said that they smelled something that was odd, and they actually complained. Now, keep in mind, this happened during the pandemic. This happened in November of 2020. Also, we have to think about the fact that Texas had that big freeze in February, in which they left those children alone in that house in February with, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about that too. So during the pandemic, let's talk about the, how people weren't really visiting each other like that. I could give that sort of excuse, but at the end of the day, if a child is coming up to me and saying that they haven't eaten and they're hungry, I see a child sleeping outside on a slide, I'm going to be inquiring minds want to know what's going on with your kids. Why is your kid constantly coming over here telling me that you're hungry? I go to this door, y'all open up this door, and I don't see no furniture inside, and I see these babies up in here looking like they haven't ate. I'm calling the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could have been remedied right there. As far as the apartment complex, now they're saying that this girl was on government assistance. The apartment complex was named Cedar Park in Texas. Okay, so I looked up this apartment complex. She could have possibly been on housing in this apartment complex where she wasn't paying, where she was paying little to no rent, but she was receiving Social Security checks for the two disability checks for the 2 children that were nonverbal autistic. So that's probably how she was paying whatever rent that she probably was paying. The apartment complex was not doing any inspections because City Park 2, and the apartment complex wasn't doing any inspections during the time because it was the pandemic. Nobody was going inside of apartments like that. They were doing what they call outside inspections, because if y'all don't know, I work for housing and urban development. That's one of the type of things that we have to do is do inspections. During the pandemic, I didn't go inside of, well, we're still in the pandemic, but at least in the thick of it, in that time, we weren't going inside of any houses or anything like that to check inside of these houses. But if we had smelled something that smelled like it was dead, decomposing, I would have been wanting to know what the hell is going on. Why didn't some of the neighbors at least tell the apartment manager, hey, this little boy keeps coming over here telling me that he's hungry. Hey, this little boy keeps is sleeping outside on the slide. I took a photo of him. Here he is. Can you talk to the mom, try to find out what happened? But that would have been me, because my nosy ass would have went and knocked on their door.
That's what Ed just got through saying. There was the door.
I'm going to the door. That goes back to the village comment, because like the lady said, whoever said that comment earlier, neighbors watched neighbors' kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not like, I remember when I was young and I tried to sneak a boy in the house. Baby, you're not sneaking no boy up in here without Lane and Jane them knowing about it, and they gonna tell your mama. So you better sneak them through the woods and come up through the back, because if they come through the front, they gonna snitch on you. So
that was my route, through the woods and the back
door. Through the woods, through the back door. That's the way you got to go that way. You got to go that kind of way. But I really don't know why these people, and that's something that we could talk about later, but I don't understand why nobody thought to say, let me go to this door and check on these kids. I'm giving them food. And also the little boy was coming over to one of the neighbors' house asking to charge his cell phone, because he had a cell phone.
Oh, wow.
Asking to charge the cell phone because their electricity would be cut off.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something. Let me sidebar real quick. The reason why this is, when you first sent this to me today, and we decided we was going to talk about this, it struck a chord, because when you say nonverbal autistic, right?
Yes.
That's my boy. My boy is 4 years old. He is nonverbal autistic. And I can't even come close to imagining doing something like that, or knowing of another child that's like that and not intervene. Listen, I'm a man of a certain age. I believe in the village. My grandma is back in North Carolina right now, sitting on her couch watching the neighborhood, because she believes she's the village. She's the village, you know. And I can't. It hurts me. It when I tell you, it broke my heart when I heard the baby that passed away was nonverbal autistic.
Nonverbal autistic. His name was little baby was named Kendrick. I'm not going to say the other children's names, but his name was Kendrick. Sweet baby.
That thing broke me all the way down. But let's get to the family though, because everybody keep asking about the family. Where the family?
So let's talk about the family. They actually sat down with KHOU, I believe it is, in Houston, Texas, their local station, and they actually spoke on the situation. You guys check it out.
After remains of a child were found, 35-year-old Gloria Williams has been charged with injury to a child by omission, and 31-year-old Brian Coulter has now been charged with murder. Williams' family says they haven't spoken with her in months. It's a story you'll see only on 2.
How did we get to this? How could you not reach out and just be like, y'all, I've lost control. It's not in a good space. And we would have taken all of the kids.
The children had been living with their brother's skeletal remains for nearly a year. We have team coverage for you tonight. Rochelle Turner has more on the investigation.
But we begin now with Taisha Walker with the story you'll see only on 2. Taisha, what else did the family have to say to you?
Lauren, the family says Williams basically was estranged, that they would hear from her on and off. Her number was always different, as well as her address. In fact, they said they didn't even know that the family was staying at this apartment complex, because the last time they met them over the summer, it was just the boyfriend who came outside of the apartment complex, a 15-minute drive away.
I seen the news or the news article about the kids, but I never thought it was her.
Christy Smith and everyone sitting on this couch is related to Gloria Williams. The 35-year-old mother of 6 is charged with injury to a child and tampering with evidence, while her 31-year-old boyfriend is facing murder for the death of her 8-year-old son, Kendrick. Harris County deputies say Kendrick was beaten and his corpse was left to decompose for 11 months inside of an apartment the couple abandoned to live elsewhere.
Kendrick was autistic. To my knowledge, when he would come around our family, all he did was smile.
Cousin Yasmin Craig says Kendrick was mostly nonverbal. She says as a family, they offered to raise Kendrick when he was younger, but William refused.
My mom has been asking for Kendrick since the day he was born. All because we knew that all these kids, eventually, she was not going to be able to be the best parent she can be.
Family members say Williams had 6 kids, including the 3 surviving boys who were also living in the apartment, and 2 girls, whom she no longer has parental rights. Melody Robinson has full custody of the youngest daughter and says CPS told her this late last year.
Because Gloria gave up her rights to her and she failed the first child. that that they would be going in to take all the other 4 boys.
The family says Williams was estranged, only reaching out for money, always saying the kids were fine.
Anytime we did go help, where the kids at, how they doing? Oh, they in school.
Yeah, it was always
so we never had an apartment number. She always be like, okay, I'm gonna meet y'all at the front of the apartment.
Another question so many viewers have been asking, aside from where was extended family, they wanted to know, how was Williams able to pay the rent here with these kids living here by themselves? The family members that I spoke with say they believe with disability checks that she was receiving for some of the kids. We do know not only Kendrick had autism, but another one of those 4 boys that was living inside of the apartment complex behind me. Reporting live in Alief, Taisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.
So
I'm going to take a short break. I need a break right here.
Have a show idea? Want to host your own radio show? Are you a DJ looking for a place to showcase your skills? Contact us today at WLEO267radio@gmail.com. We've got a spot for you.
Okay, and we back, man. Another on this episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up, man, with me and Double D.
You okay, brother? You okay?
Yeah.
I know.
The skeletal remains. I can't. For a year?
Since November.
Yeah, no. Let me get myself together here.
Okay.
That thing.
Right
there. Ooh, a year?
A year.
And then the family's going to sit there. Oh, well, what?
Yeah. They didn't know anything. They claimed that they didn't know anything was going on, that they were meeting them. The girl would only contact for money and said that they would have to meet in the front of the complex, that they didn't even know what apartment they lived in. But in the same token, they said that they knew that she wasn't a good mother. But they didn't make any effort to check on the children. Do you have any comments to read?
Yeah, I got a few. Yeah,
okay, read those comments. I got to check on DJ. Give me 1 second.
All right. So we're going to Candy Brassel said Section 8 apartments still get inspected. They don't get government assistance if those units are not up to par. I have questions on if they just ignored the concerns. Candy, let me tell you something. I really believe that somebody ignored something sometime, because you can't tell me. I mean, I understand the society, and I understand that society is lax, and with COVID and didn't want to be involved and all that, somebody has had to have seen something sometime. That was just no, I'm not buying that. Andrea McCready said, I am part of a village of mamas. We all have teenagers. We are in this together for each other and the kids. I couldn't parent without my village. Girl, you better know that's right. That's where it is. That's how I came up. Tabitha Braden, I'm not being mean, but does a 15-year-old mentally challenged? Also, that I do not know. Bring that in. You just stop smashing the mic there. We gonna go ahead and do that. Get into
I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm sorry.
Erica said, R.I.P. Lil Kendrick. Rest in power.
This whole situation, you guys, is so very sad. And all of this for a tech head, there had to be a smell. Like I said, this happened in November. So it would be cold. You know what I'm saying? It would be cold. Yeah. But at the end of the day, there was electricity there. They had to be running the heat. I mean, can you imagine what it was like? Now, one of the neighbors did say that she smelled something, and she did complain to the apartment complex, but I guess they decided not to do anything about it. I don't know. I mean, again, we were in the pandemic, but it ain't no way one of my tenants was going to tell me that they smelled like it was decomposing, and I didn't do anything to check on it. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So they have some culpability as well. Now, and I wanted to tell you guys too about what happened with the school, because people were wondering why didn't the school do anything? Well, of course, we know we were in the pandemic. They said that the children, the mother was already being investigated for truancy for 2 of the children.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 of the children had a truancy case, but it was dismissed in May of 2020. So they hadn't been seen in school since May of 2020.
And it was dismissed because of COVID, right?
Yeah, it was dismissed because of COVID. Yeah. Okay. So they hadn't been in school and they haven't made any efforts. And honestly, with the way COVID is going, maybe they thought that she was going to homeschool them, but they still have a requirement to be in school, be enrolled in school. Yeah. So it really doesn't make any sense. So I'll be interested to see what the school is going to say about why these children weren't in school, why nobody was checking on them to find out what's going on. This just reminds me so much of Gabriel Fernandez. You remember that case on Netflix, that big documentary that, that was a big deal when that happened. But this is just horrific.
Tabitha Braden has a good question.
Okay.
And she says, okay, if the 15-year-old had a cell phone, why didn't he call family?
Maybe he was afraid. That's a good question for one reason only. It is something that we need to explore, but we don't need to dwell on it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we have a 15-year-old child that was abused, that may have possibly been threatened, maybe have Stockholm. That is his mother. She could have very well been telling him, oh, well, if you call the police and tell them, you're going to get taken away from me and be treated worse, or he may try to kill me or something like that. Children have an ability to love and protect their parents through anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like a divine love that can't be taken away. So we can't just say, why didn't the 15-year-old say something? This 15-year-old, because he didn't say something, he's going to need a lot of freaking counseling and help because of that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And then, and you guys that are in here, there's a lot of you in here, and there's a lot of comments flowing, and I appreciate that. I'm trying to read all of the comments to try to keep up. But I'm doing the best I can. So if I miss your comment, charge it to my head and not my heart.
And not my heart. Yeah, absolutely.
My man, Lashawn Mason said, that's such bullshit. My mom would run my door down if she didn't get a nightly call. I couldn't imagine a year, pandemic or not.
I don't understand the family.
I don't
get the family. There's no excuse for that. You had laid eyes on none of these kids.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Somebody's laying some excuses. They're saving face. That's what they're doing.
And let me tell you this too. Somebody has already come out of the woodworks. I actually took this screenshot. And do not donate to any GoFundMe's, you all, because somebody has already come out and tried to take advantage. A person posing as a relative of the abandoned children is collecting donations. So the family came out to stop that. Said the family of the children who were abandoned in West Harris County are raising the alarm that someone is posing as the kid's relative in order to collect fraudulent donations.
Can't even help nobody. That's crazy.
So don't donate to any GoFundMe's or anything like that. And really, honestly, the children are in the custody of the state. So
yeah,
the family shouldn't be collecting any donations anyway.
You're right. Tammy Lewis, hey Tammy, on Facebook says CPS needs the village and the family as it takes the community to also help save children. Be the eyes and ears for our most vulnerable population, especially those with special needs. I'm still at a loss for how this could happen, even in the pandemic, as CPS has a mandate to protect 24/7 every day.
Absolutely. I totally agree. CPS dropped the ball. The school dropped the ball. The family dropped the ball, and definitely the mother and that piece of shit that she was with, Brian Coulter, who needs to be under the jail 100%. Go ahead, honey.
It's just reading these comments, and I love reading these comments. I tell you, my man Ed, who's supposed to be on vacation and still talking on his YouTube video. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Ed said fear is a hell of a thing, and it's true. It is.
It is.
When it comes, I think I've always been under the instinct, because my mother was a cub. She was a lioness, and me and my brother, it didn't matter what. She was protective of me and my brother, and I don't understand how we went from that part of society to where mothers were lionesses and they protected their cubs. How do we go from that to where we are now? I mean, how do we get there?
We're in a society where a woman can be assaulted on a train station with several people and be assaulted and no one stopped and people actually record it. This makes me fearful for my 2 and 3-year-old growing up in the future. This makes me fearful for myself that something will happen. It used to be where you could count on fellow man. Like if you were in public and something happened to you, somebody's going to try to intervene. But hell, as we saw last week, people aren't going to do anything. As we see today, people can see children coming and saying that they're hungry. And not call the cops. See them sleeping outside and not call the cops. At the very least, you don't even got to go up to the kid. Call the cops and ask them to find out why this kid is sleeping outside. It's crazy.
It's the whole thing is just mind blowing to me. And I'm, I have a 4-year-old son who's nonverbal and autistic, and I have a 12-year-old son who has special needs, and it's like, oh my God, like this society now. I don't know. It said, so as a family, when do you decide to just say, you know what, I'm hopping in my car and I'm driving my black ass over there to check on my family as a family?
Exactly.
Thinking the same thing. Like, why didn't you still get in the car and go over there and check on them babies?
It ain't no way that my sister is going. She's in here. It ain't no way that my sister is not going to hear from me and see my kids be posting videos or see my kids on Facebook or hear from us. And she's not going to say, let me scurry my ass on down here this 45 minutes and check on my sister. Ain't no way that I'm going to go without seeing my sister, seeing a pattern that she's always done, which is posting her children and bragging about them, to never seeing them again. I'm going to find out what the heck is going on. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm sorry to blame the family, but honestly, the way they acted on that news report that I showed you guys, it's like they want to take no responsibility. Like, oh, well, we tried. She would never let us in the apartment complex. Baby, if she's calling you and asking you for money, then if she's calling you and asking you for money or asking you for something, say, hey, I want to see these kids before I actually hand this to you. You say you need this for Kendrick to get them some food, or you need to get them something, then let me see the kids. I want to see my cousins. I want to see my family. Before I give you anything, you're asking for money for them. Why can't I see them? It makes absolutely no sense. We were in a pandemic. That doesn't mean that you never see your family. You don't even check on them. That's crazy.
Man, it's back to the comments. Let's see. And there's so many, and I'm trying to keep up.
But you ain't gonna be able to read all of them, baby, especially if there's that many people in here.
Because I've already picked my comment of the night. Now,
did you?
Here at the beginning of this show, Miss Tiffany has a T-shirt. If you can see what we're rocking here, petty but accurate. We're twinning tonight. If you want to be in the running for a T-shirt, we are doing the comment of the night, and I've already picked it. I just gotta find it. So what we're gonna do, because we could this right here, we could talk about all night long. Have amazing conversation and debate or whatever about it. But I'm gonna get into two other. I'm gonna read about 3 more comments, and then we're gonna end the show on some funny, because this has been a very serious, and some of us need to decompress a little bit. We're gonna decompress in a little bit by the time I end the show. So just a couple. I'm gonna read Monica's. With Monica Hampton on Facebook said, it is idealistic to think that we were raised by a village and mothers were lionesses. Not making excuses, but we can't think all all we were raised with high standards. Hell, medium standards.
I can agree with that, Monica.
And Vanessa Chu said she is 35 years old, starting having babies at least 17. She didn't know what she was doing.
Having baby after baby, having babies to hold on to a man. Yeah.
You know, so I'm telling you about these men out here, child. Listen to me. Some men don't want love; they want help. Stop. Connie said, "We're dealing with parents wanting to be children's friends. They have stopped teaching morals or values and respect for authority. Young parents just want to party and have fun. They don't believe in the village anymore. No one can correct another person's child. Not in this society, you can't. But back in the day, I got that all the time."
We talked about that earlier. Yeah, you can't even do that anymore. Correct the person's child. That's why so much bullying going on, because it used to be where if the kids are having a problem in school, the two parents got together and found out, we need to go ahead and hash this out. Now you can't even do anything like that, child. It is a hot boo-boo shitty mess in this world, and I honestly feel sad for my children and for my nieces and nephews and all of them that are growing up in this. That's gotten way worse than what it used to be. I can say that.
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. I want to thank. I can't stress enough how much I want to thank everybody that came through and commented on tonight with me and Double D. I know everybody. I know 95.89% of y'all are here because of Double D, and I appreciate that. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm here.
That's not true.
Along for the
ride.
That
is not true.
We are going to end on a funny. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar.
Pick your comment of the day. Pick your comment of the day so I can get that person.
I'm going to run the funny, and then I'm going to do the comment.
Okay.
Is that something to think?
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the comedian Trey Moe, but he has a puppet called Keisha Jones, and that's
I love him.
He is the funny of the day. Let me get my screen up here. I already got him pulled up. He is spoofing Kevin Samuels, or whatever that boy's name is. We're going to end the show on a good note. Here is Trey Moe and Keisha Jones.
Tevin, what's up?
Okay, man, what's your question or disagreement?
Keisha, ask him how he a high-value man but got 2 divorces.
No, ma'am, we're not doing that, ma'am. No, ma'am, look at me. Look at me. Do not read comments on my show. That's disrespectful. I tell y'all that all the time. Focus. Do not call someone's show and read comments.
Okay, bro, you can lower your tone, though.
Now, what's your question of disagreement?
Tevin, I disagree with what you said about high-value man. Money don't make you high-value, Tevin. Principles, morals, and respect make you high-value. You can have money and still be a low-value man. Bro, you just go season fish while I'm on here talking to you?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. This is my show. This is my show, okay? If I want to season fish while you talk, I'm a season fish while you talk.
You don't think that's
This is my show. Ma'am, do you have a high value man?
Yes.
How long have you two been together?
2 years.
And he's high value.
Ain't that what I just said?
No, we're not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, we're not doing that.
Doing what?
The masculine energy that you're coming with is a deflection, ma'am. Okay? No, ma'am, do not talk over me, ma'am. Ma'am, do not talk over me. Ma'am, that's a deflection, ma'am. That's a deflection.
No, it's not.
That's a deflection.
No, it's not.
That's a deflection. You're deflecting.
No, I'm not.
Now, I tell y'all all the time, you treat me nice, I'll treat you nice.
I treated you nice.
That's a deflection.
No, it's not. Shoot.
That's a deflection.
Yeah, that's why you can't put it back up there.
Man, what does your boyfriend do?
He's a comedian.
So I'm going to stop right there because
I love Trey. I love Trey.
He is absolutely hilarious. But I'm going to stop it right there. So I'm going to get into my comment of the night. I hope she is still here because that's the only way she can win a t-shirt. She has to be in the building. So, Miss Shakira Pearson, if you are still in the building, make sure that you comment for me. Comment, I am here in the comments so we can get your information.
Yes.
And we can get a t-shirt out to you.
Absolutely.
Your petty but accurate t-shirt. Shakira's comment was, everybody's ass needs to be kicked up between their shoulder blades. You know how hard that is to kick them up? That is tough out here in these streets. Shakira Pearsons, you are the comment of the night. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Yes, she is here. There you go. So make sure that you email. Go ahead.
She needs to you can either email me, or are you following the Black Accurate News page? Because it would be great if you are on Facebook. That way, or either the You Can't Make This Shit Up page, whichever one, you can send us a message and give us your address, and I'll mail out your shirt. I just if you're not the size that I have, then I'll have to get another size. Yeah. You're here. Okay. So can you please send me a message on the Facebook, or either on, well, you can email me if you'd like, but let's see what she comes up with. Give her a second to respond, Terry. But I just wanted I wanted to make sure that we end this nicely, that we are make sure that we are in prayer. Oh, TikTok. What's your name on TikTok? And I'll follow you back, and you can send me a message. Tell me your name on TikTok and I will follow you back. That way I can you can send me a message directly on TikTok. So you do that right now. But I just want to make sure we end this correctly and say that we're sending thoughts and our prayers and condolences are going out to the little boys, the boys and the family that is affected by all of this. We have to be mindful of that. I would say the family as well, because they did lose someone, the family as well. And my prayer is that that we hear about these boys and the two girls as well in years, that they are doing well, that they are in college, or that they've graduated, or they got a trade, or they've done something, been a contributing member to society. Because at the end of the day, my hope is for the children to be okay. I don't give a damn about Brian and Gloria. What my thought is to the children. And I will be following this case. So make sure you guys are following both of the pages, so that way you can keep up on the news. But this is just a sad story, and I really wanted to say rest in peace to little Kendrick, and also send my thoughts and prayers to his brothers and his sisters. And I'll also say that we forgot to mention this, Terry, that one of the sisters, the 17-year-old, is missing.
Jasmine, yes.
Yes, Jasmine is actually missing at this point. She's been missing since September. That's the older sister, that's 17.
So what I would say, and my closing remarks is this, is that, I pray for the entire family, that they find clarity. These young men these young princes whose lives have been affected. One has gone on to glory. It's hard for me, as a man, to even talk about it, even though I have to make light, because it's so heavy on my heart because of my son and what I go through. But I hope that, like I'm with Double D, wholeheartedly, I could care less about Gloria and Brian. I hope they get the day they deserve. I really believe that in my spirit. But we have to, with our own families, we have to look and be like, okay, I got to check. I got to make sure that my family's okay. That this is a moment to reflect on what we have in our lives. So don't let it be. Let something like this happen before we catch it, in the third.
Exactly. Check on your families. On your families. Make sure they're okay. If you haven't heard from them, find out why. It's very important that we do that. And I think I found Shakira. I think I may have found her. Did she put her name in there? Because I think it's the same thing on her TikTok. So I think I found her.
Okay. She said Miss Shakira, baby.
Yeah, I have it, and you send me your I just followed you back, so that way you can send me a message on there, honey. Oh, you're following me, so I'm excited for you to get one of these shirts. 2 car deals for a t-shirt. No.
Here's my coworker. He's just riding me at work, and we always do that. He's crazy. All right. If you're on Facebook and if you're following the Black Accurate News on Facebook, thank you for that. Do me a favor, though. I want you guys to go over to the YouTube page and download and subscribe to youtube.com/DaGuru&Doubled on YouTube. All right, we're going to get out of here. We love, I used to say this when I did a show called The Brothers of Legacy, and I always ended the show like this. We love you, but God loves you more. You guys have a great rest of your night, man. We'll see you next week.
What the I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Damn! I know you lying. I guarantee you won't see this coming. Welcome to You Can't Make This Shit Up with DaGuru and Double D.